Hello, I am Brother Kelly Hughes, Chaplain of the Arts. We are broadcasting live to tape from the Valiant Theatre here in the heart of Winnipeg's greasy Tenderloin. This is Kelly Hughes Live, slices on 101.5 UMFM and YouTube and various other little bits and bobs on the internet. Thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you to my guest for stopping by, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ron Robinson. How you doing, Ron?
I just came to read the gas meter. I had no idea. Good to see you. Good to be here.
That's how your porn movie starts too, right?
That's good. Write that down.
You look very jaunty in your scarf. I like that.
My wife knits these.
Really?
And so that other people want them. And so that is one of her ongoing projects.
Yeah.
I think this is no secret. The guy who's putting in our kitchen right now, I think, is going to get one of these.
Yeah. Well, that was news to me. I don't know if it's a secret, but
Yeah, right. Don't tell anybody.
What kind of kitchen are you getting put in?
IKEA.
Oh, okay.
This man seems to be able to do everything.
Yeah.
This is one of those, why don't we do it now? 2 years later, came COVID, came people who said yes, then they disappear.
Yeah.
And other people say, I'd like to, but it's beyond me, et cetera, et cetera. So we have found the man, I think.
It's very hard to get anybody to show up and then to get them to continue to show up until they're finished.
Let alone, so he did the bathroom as well as the kitchen, and he seems to be varied in his skills. He was a math teacher, but he had enough of I think it might have been private school, and maybe teenagers.
Yeah.
There came a burnout point for him anyways, so yeah.
I think there's, doing stuff with your hands. I think there's kind of a...
That's right.
There's something that's satisfying about that is, different than, like, I have a friend who worked in the schmata business for a long time. So he worked at K's, he worked for Nygaard. Yeah, right. And he did all this stuff. And then just one day he said, you know what? I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to be a handyman. So then he did a bunch of handyman work for us when we had our old Aqua books and everything.
Right. Yep.
And then he, and then he went on and worked for a big property management company. And then he ended up over at, I don't know if he's still there, but he ended up over at Saint Amant, and he did all their handyman stuff because they own a bunch of houses. Because that's kind of, you know what you're supposed to do, and you know when it's done. It's done when you're done it.
When I was a stock boy at Eaton's, it's Christmas, and the madness is this time to that time. You got the books on the shelves, people went berserk and bought them, and you do more. It's true, it's a repeat, but you actually see beginning and end. So then you become the buyer of the book department and are responsible for other aspects of business, and you realize, I need to feel the physical tired at the end of the day of humping books. And it's good to see the boss in from time to time. Yeah. He knows how to do it, and he's willing to put his nose to the grindstone. So
it is funny. I mean, you worked in books for a long time in old bookstores, and it is funny how heavy they are. It's not like having a pillow store. I mean, when you because you can do all the kind of, people imagine you're sitting around just reading the books and whatever, but somebody is moving all the books, especially like when you do used books and you're buying big, huge, like I did, and you're buying big, huge estates and stuff. I mean, you're moving like, sometimes hundreds of boxes.
And it has to be done now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you, was that your first book job, the stock boy at Eaton's?
Well, the madness started when I was about 5. I was having trouble learning to read.
Yeah.
And this is where you find out, for my mother, it was a great love and a concern. Yeah. I think you can handle this. And that is, she had a friend who was a school teacher who taught phonics.
Okay.
This has been the big argument for the last 20 years. Phonics versus some other ooga-booga. And so she worked with me one-on-one. And one day, the little black specks make sense, and then you want to read everything, and then you stay a reader. Books were around us as well, but my mom was a great reader, and so I think that really made a difference. So then the library, and then at school, and a bit of performing and reading aloud, etc. But
What
really,
what was your first book job? So the first
paid
actual
money.
job was the Eaton stock.
Yes, yeah. I was.
When are we talking here?
Oh wow! Previous century, I ended up at Eaton's through industrial overload,
Like,
sorting coat hangers,
okay, okay.
plastic, wood,
Yeah.
plastic, wood, and then they said, "Do you want to stay?"
They had plastic coat hangers then, yeah.
Then they said, "Do you want to stay?" Because each week I would come in with a different bunch of guys, but we'd all get paid cash at the end of the week, and
Yeah.
I'd be the only one who showed up again next week.
Yeah.
So the boss said, "Would you like to work for us?
Yeah.
But don't tell industrial overload
Yeah.
that we're poaching you."
Yeah.
So I ended up as a receiver in the catalog building basement, which was a world unto itself, full of characters that are no more,
Yeah.
as Eaton's is no more.
Yeah.
So the boss came down, I'm going to shorten this. The boss came down from the Eaton's book department and said, I'm doing this and this. And I said, do you need anybody up in the department?
Yeah.
So he took me upstairs as the stock boy and gave me, remember the clip-on ties?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I'd be the stock boy, then I'd put the clip-on tie and get in behind the cash register and bootstraps and Horatio Alger and every day in every way. I got better and better. And I went to their management trainee program.
Yeah.
And then ended up as the buyer for the book department in Eaton's downtown.
Has anybody written a good book about Eaton's Winnipeg?
You know,
There must be like so many great Eaton stories.
There are a million stories in the Naked City. And I mean, there was a guy in the catalog building basement, and he was the freight elevator operator. And he was 5x5, and his hat looked like it couldn't come off anymore. You know guys' baseball caps, they get that kind of greasy fold. And you know, we're talking. And you'd get on the freight elevator with him, and it was black, dark metal.
Yeah.
And he would clang down the gate.
Yeah.
And he'd turn to you and he'd say, "Pardon me for saying it, sir, but I saw the Pope on TV last night, and you could see Satan in his eyes." And you're saying, "I want to get off the freight elevator. I'm just a young guy." Same guy who said, "I saw the Prime Minister. He should be doing more for you young people." And I said, "I don't want him doing anything for me." And
which Prime Minister was it?
It's probably the older Trudeau,
Yeah.
of course, yeah. And he once said to me, you know, and he always prefaced his comments with, "Pardon me for saying it, sir." And you know, a Lulu is coming.
Yeah.
"Pardon me for saying it, sir, but it'll be a great day when the British flag flies over Jerusalem." And so I went,
Oh, wow.
he's a British Israelite.
Oh.
I thought they had all died
Yeah.
out. I think there were people who believed, did these feet on England's pastures green, as if Jesus had ever come to England, or the belief that the British traditions and all the rest would have something to do with Israel forever. You don't find them anymore. I think they've all died out.
He probably read lots of books.
Yes.
Because that's when you had, back then you had to find out all your crazy stuff in books. Now it's just on the internet.
It's all around you.
Yeah,
it's
we're
in the air. It's
surrounded by...
on the drive here, I saw the crazy all around me. Coming down Main Street and, yeah. Anyways. So, yeah, books and Eaton's. That's how I got my start.
Yeah, but has anybody
yes.
written like a
Yes.
really good Eaton's Winnipeg book?
His name is Russ Gorlock.
Oh, yeah.
And he came to me one
Is he a
day.
photographer
No.
too? No, I'm thinking
He
somebody
was
else.
school teacher, then maybe administrator.
Yeah.
There's no worry about saying this anymore, but he was gay, and I think there were problems within school system and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And so he was thinking about moving elsewhere, like Vancouver.
Yeah.
And he came to me one day and said, "I'm thinking about writing a book about Eaton's." I said, "You need a frame. Eaton's is vast.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is the seven wonders of the world.
Yeah.
Is it about the people? Is it about this store?
Yeah.
Is it about the rise and fall?" And I said, and you don't go to every publisher in the world. You go to the locals first, like Great Plains.
Right. Yes. That's what I was
And
gonna
if you
say, yeah.
remember, if you're the first person to bring this to them, they're interested.
Yeah.
But I tried to explain to them the slush pile. Ideas come over the transom,
Yeah.
and there's a huge pile of "publish me."
Yeah.
Anyways, he goes to Great Plains, And I don't think he realized this doesn't happen anymore very often. They said, we've been waiting for someone to bring us a book about this. It's a great book, great stories. He managed to prune it, good photographs, great nostalgia, I think, oversized. And then he did one on Selkirk Avenue, one on the shops on Portage. He was going to do one on the movie houses of Manitoba.
Yeah.
And he came to me and said, I'm leaving town, but I'll leave you all my research. I said, well, tell me how you worked at it. He said, well, 7 days a week. I said, no. I said, I don't do that anymore. I'm not doing anything. There would be 7 days. I know my obsessions. And if I get locked into one more obsession, I'll be in a small, dark room alone.
What are you obsessed with, Ron?
Getting up nowadays. Just getting up. And no earlier than 7.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, there's no need for that. Sometimes I even snuggle down. My wife convinced me to buy a down-filled sort of thingy that is really warm.
Yeah.
And it lasted, as my father used to say, this will see me out. And so I'm under there and I'm thinking, other people are going to work.
Yeah.
I'm not going to work.
Yeah.
I'll get up later.
That's nice.
Call that an obsession.
But you still do your, so you did the CBC weekend show.
Yep.
For how many years?
10, 12.
Yeah. And what time did you have to get up to do that?
For that, I'd be up at 4 to be there for 5.
So pretty early.
Yep. So now I sleep in. We don't get up till 4:30.
On Saturday.
Yep.
Because then you're doing your show on CKUW.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
How long have you been doing the show on CKUW?
About 15 years. I've been gone from CBC for 18.
Yeah.
You meet people on the street and they want to say thank you and they remember, etc.
Yeah.
Then you realize they talk as if I'm still there. And you realize, you say, thank you. My wife always says, just say thank you. They don't want to hear the details of how hard you worked or why that microphone gave you trouble. No.
And
say thank you.
I mean, even your replacement is gone already.
Yes. Well, they went through several people.
Yeah.
I volunteered to mentor. And the woman I thought would be good at it was wound so tight and was chasing other things about her family life, etc. She went down east and did very well doing something else, but she would have been great.
Yeah.
But she had to have everything written in front of her. She couldn't move off the script.
Yeah.
But she had such a good sense of humor, it would have worked. Then there was a woman that came in from Brandon who had no radio experience whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So I think she was a social worker. So she lasted a year, 2.
And then Terry McLeod did it for a while.
Yes, and I had breakfast with him once and said, remember, sufficient unto this day are the evils therein. This is the weekend. Do you understand what I'm saying? People have heard, ain't it awful, Mabel, all week.
Yeah. But
I don't think that ever really penetrated because his background was so much news and current affairs. It is news and current affairs now. When I did it, the umbrella was arts and entertainment.
So he refused to play any Sousa.
Is that right? Did you try it? We always did a march around the breakfast table.
I know.
We still do a march around this table. I think we may have played a Sousa march just a week or so ago. Funny you should say that. Yeah. It's the Air Command Band this Saturday, by the way. So, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Well, CBC is, I have a couple of friends that work there. One of them's a producer. And, it's a big organization, and there's always lots of politics, and there's always lots of kind of stuff that has nothing to do with what you're actually putting on the air. So it must be very nice to, like at CKUW, you get so much autonomy. I mean, you show up and nobody's there.
Woody Allen says showing up is 70%. And B, because of the time of the morning, and we're not going to turn the microphone on to say poop, 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 and bum, bum, bum. You do that when you're 6, right? Because it upsets the adults in the room. We don't have to do that anymore. Whereas, because it's arts and entertainment.
Who is saying that? Who says poop, 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 bum, bum, bum?
Occasionally, I've come in and it wasn't a show of ours, but somebody else had put something else up, and I think, ooh, wow.
Oh.
Don't like the language there. And there will be some seniors, because our audience at that time of the morning is mostly seniors.
It's just people with enlarged prostates that have got
up to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Why don't we turn the radio on?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're right. So we're wide open, and because I know the ears are older too, and the music we like, so we always say no heavy metal, please. Nothing going to make your ears bleed at 6 a.m. And however, every now and then we will get an author and a subject matter that's disturbing. Like, I see Rick Westhead is here. If this is from Thursday, November the 28th, and his book on hockey, We Breed Lions, is about the dark side of hockey in Canada. And I don't mean the most recent case.
Yeah.
He looks back and he looks at hazing, and he looks at treatment of women, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a pretty serious case he makes. So we interviewed him and we gave him a chance to make his case. And I see again, we're recording this on Thursday the 28th. Free Press reporter who does sports for them as well has done an interview with Rick Westhead as well and speaks highly of the book. And why?
Paul Friesen?
No, that's the son. And why is it, so often, even now, sports reporters are rah fans more than willing to ask the unpleasant questions?
Because it's escapism, right?
First and foremost, yeah.
And then also there's a lot of money changing hands.
Oh,
yes. It's big business.
Sure.
And so even in they've had some different series on ESPN or whatever that are like comedies or drama series or whatever that are fictionalized stories about like football players. They always have to have fictionalized teams, right? They can't, even if it's even if they say it's the NFL, I mean, they can never have real teams because,
you'd be sued,
big contracts and all that stuff.
Crush you like a bug.
And, the people that I know that are doing like real sports journalism are, they're on Substack and whatever. I mean, they're independent, doing their own thing because there is so much corporate. The corporate overlords are everywhere, right?
Well, give Westhead some credit then, because he works for TSN.
Oh, yeah.
And he was a foreign correspondent as well. So he's looked at ugly and is willing. And I did ask him, what did TSN say because he's already had flack from the NHL and former players, etc. You must have been cut from your team, or you hate the game, etc. As if that will dismiss the issues that he raises. But it doesn't, does it? No. So, anyway, so mostly what we do is arts and entertainment.
Yeah, but that does sound well. And that's writing. That's art.
Well, it's a book. The trouble is, there's so many books in too narrow a space as always, from November to January, October to November and December.
Yeah.
Me, talk to me. But I don't want to turn it into 5 days a week anymore. And our show is only 2 hours long. And of course, we bookend every talk with music. And there's only one Laurence Olivier, and he's dead. So that one person can hold an audience attention for more than about 7 minutes is sometimes questionable. So we usually keep our interviews to about 7 minutes. So,
well, you and I have already been talking for 20. So
well, we have jumped to different topics, etc., which helps. And just as we're losing them, we pull them back in again.
Yeah. Exactly. We pull them right back in again. It is interesting. You said that you one of your replacements needed to have everything written down, or she couldn't kind of go with it, and
didn't trust me.
And the people that are really, I think, good at hosting, at interviewing, at doing all that kind of stuff, is ADHD people like me. Maybe you're a little bit ADHD too, Ron. Who knows?
Who knew?
Who knew? But I mean,
2 cups of coffee today.
But being able to kind of move with things and being able to listen.
Are you listening?
Yeah, and see where
no
it's
names,
going.
but there are a couple people on CBC. My wife used to start shouting at the radio. He just answered that question.
That is one of my biggest, and that's happened to me various places, but including CBC. One of my biggest pet peeves when you're being interviewed and they ask you something that you've already answered, as the interviewee, then you're like, well, do I answer it again?
Do I say?
And then do I say, as I said, or you know what I mean? Like it puts you in sort of a bad position, and then you're like, who am I talking to? Why is this person not listening to me?
It's not a case of I want to get to something you didn't want to talk about. It's usually you weren't listening. That's what it usually is. So,
yeah, and it's, and they've got their producer's notes,
Yeah.
and they're working their way through. But I mean, if you ask a question, I'm not necessarily just going to answer that. I'll go into the next one.
I was always very lucky. I never had a producer on my case who was like that.
Yeah.
I did the questions for the interviews, etc. And if I liked the way something was going, we'd go that way.
Yeah.
You tell me something I completely didn't know about.
Yeah.
The audience is going to say, don't jump over that.
Yeah.
Ask more about that, and we'll edit later. Or maybe it's so good, we'll turn it into 2 parts.
You're like Donald Trump. You're doing the weave, right? You always, you're doing the
Look
thing.
at the hair. Look at the hair.
All natural, eh?
Yeah.
You're doing the thing, and then you get there. No, I think that is a great skill when you're when you're interviewing somebody, because it is harder than it looks. I think that,
Well, there are people who don't want to be interviewed. I did a show called Nightlines on CBC Stereo. Music from the 80s. Ross Porter was my producer.
Right. When was that?
It's not on there anymore, I think. I was 80s, maybe 82 to 84.
And it was at night.
Oh, yeah, midnight till 6 a.m. We did live, so it was 10 in Winnipeg till 4 in the morning.
Yeah, I totally remember that.
So this is when you find out who your friends are.
Yeah.
Doesn't do much for your sex life over a weekend either. And I couldn't drive heavy equipment on Monday morning.
Yeah.
Like, your body does not like to switch back and forth.
You had to quit your job in the warehouse.
Funny you should say that. I was studying Latin next door at the University of Winnipeg.
Yeah.
And then I realized with my hours, and I can't. So I went to my prof, Jane Cahill, Professor Dr. Jane Cahill, and I said, I have this problem. I'm doing this and that and the CBC, but it's going to be a paying job. And she said, take the money. Take the money. And then later, I got her to come on the show, and she does a wonderful retelling of the Greek myths. Over about 7-8 minutes again, but just enough connections to today and a phraseology and the like that you hold the a young audience, an older audience. She was very good, very good.
But you were telling me, I derailed you. You were telling me about a bad interview you had on Nightlines, a difficult interview.
Well, some of the guys were playing all night, and then they come at 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
The old blues man, Gatemouth Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Who started to fall asleep at the microphone, and then he bonked it, and then he belched very loudly across Canada.
Wow.
That was fun.
Yeah.
But Jane Siberry was on another planet.
Yeah.
And I don't think, you never know relationships. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Is it something I said?
Yeah.
Is it something I didn't say?
Yeah.
Is it something I should have said? She was angry. And this is at 2 in the morning. But her backup singers were with her and picked up the load and were courteous and polite to me.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's unhappy, and it's live, and it's national.
Yeah.
There's no going back. Doug of Doug and the Slugs.
Yeah.
He shows up, and he doesn't even take his coat off. He sits in his raincoat in the chair and goes like this. And it's me trying to extract something beyond, no. So.
Yeah, it is.
Comes and goes.
And you sort of, like, all the things that I've done, like, I did Kelly Hughes Live,
I was there.
My live talk show for a long time, and did when I did my 10 years at CKUW, I was doing a mix of guests and music, and now I'm just doing 1 hour, one guest.
Yeah.
But I was always picking my people. So you kind of, because you were doing this show, you were sort of ended up with the people that were thrust upon you, right?
Well, Nightlines, Ross Porter would find out which musicians were coming to town. Yeah. We did some things on phone, tape it as well, but I did prefer to see the whites of their eyes.
Yeah. There is definitely something about that.
Roland Orzabal of Tears for Fears.
Oh, yeah.
I had, you read the stuff they give you, but you're looking for better or more from different magazines. And he was into primal scream therapy.
Really?
So I asked him about that, and he shut right up, and he was unhappy. I thought, well, it's public knowledge. Yeah. And so then as he left, he wouldn't talk to me.
Really?
He muttered to himself and glared as I led him down the stairs to go into the cab.
Yeah, and then he went outside, and he went,
I wouldn't be surprised.
So, that they are still making music They
Yes.
had an album that came out a
Yeah.
couple years ago.
Yeah.
It's pretty good,
Yeah.
actually.
Yep. Which you lose track of, etc., and you think, can you do what you used to, or are you hoping that audience will find you again?
It's
Or
just that there's like, we have this huge nostalgia industry. So there's bands, that broke up and then got back together.
yeah.
And they're still, they're touring the oldies
Oh,
circuit,
yeah.
and they haven't had
Zombies still out there with their kids now.
and they haven't had an album out since '97
Funny
or
you
whatever.
should say that. Colin Blunstone does have a new album out.
Yeah.
He was the lead singer with the
Yeah.
Zombies, and they reissued. It wasn't an opera, but it wasn't just rock and roll either. Called Oryx and Miracle, I think, or something. It's just been all the technology to make it more
Remastered,
but better. The technology can bring out. Now you and I don't have the ears for it anymore, anyways. The older you get, I doubt if we could hear some of it. You'd have to be a dog to.
Oh yeah, no, I can't.
Anyway, so some of them still have something new to do, and/or felt that it never got a shake. We were before our time. We were ahead of our time.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I did go to see the Zombies some years back, and it was a hoot. It was great. Yeah, it took my brother. Yeah.
When CKUW, like during the pandemic, you said you're pretty lo-fi. You said you're kind of a Luddite. Were you pre-recording your shows during the pandemic?
Nope.
So you just stopped doing your show during the pandemic.
And then Rob found us a place on Main Street.
You were the first in. You were the first person in when we opened the satellite. Rob opened a satellite studio, which was next to Times Changed and Modern Electric Lunch.
That's right.
And you were the first person. It opened on a Saturday.
Yeah.
You were the first person in that day. I was the second.
Wow.
Because I had also not been, I hadn't been pre-taping because I just got it was too much. I couldn't do it. It was too.
I didn't think we could do it. I didn't have anything at home to do it. And
what was that like for you? Like, it was a bummer for me.
Well, we could drive.
Yeah.
And but parking in the back lane at 5:30 in the morning before you get out of your car, your head's always on a swivel. We walk to the radio station now. My head is on a swivel.
No, I mean before that, like when you weren't able to do your show at all because you'd been doing a show forever.
Yep. Well, you knew it would come back, but you didn't know when.
Yeah.
And whether we'd go back do we just pick up where we left off, or are we going to lose so much support? But that's true of, I suspect, campus and community radio all the time.
Yeah.
You're not close to the edge, but it wouldn't take an awful lot.
Yeah.
We'll see if anything comes of the fact that the head honcho, put it that way, at the University of Winnipeg, has just been given his walking papers. Now that's removed from us.
Yeah.
I think more to the fact that they lost a lot of international students, and so dollars that were coming into the conference, probably 75% of our budget comes from student fees.
Mm-hmm.
So if we lose some of that, it'll get tighter and tighter and tougher.
What happened with Stylus?
We still have the last issue, and I've always used that by putting it in little lending libraries.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I'll stand on the street corner. I wonder if I might share this pamphlet with you.
Everybody thinks you're a Mooney.
Because it's got the full page. I say, tear the full page out.
Yeah.
Here's the entire schedule for CKUW, 24/7. So Rob says it ain't dead yet, but the university, I think, wants to make some changes about finances, etc. But you know what? They are actually obliged by either contract or agreement to carry on. You can't just we're not happy.
Yeah.
We're cutting off the fund. So the fight is continuing.
I've noticed. So I retired after 10 years at CQW, and I took about a year off, and then this July, I realized it was Fringe again, and I do hours and hours of Fringe interviews. I don't know.
Good man. We volunteer.
This year I did 17 hours or something in 43 different performers and artists. Right. But I was like, oh, well, how am I going to do that? I'm done at CQW. Well, it was always a pain doing it at CQW because on the weekends, it's hard to have guests.
Yes.
Because it's hard to get people in the building.
Yep.
And even in the summer too, it's also not great. Because sometimes, like after COVID, there was quite a while after COVID where like everybody had to show their card to get in.
Big Mouse too.
Yeah.
He still wiped down the gear.
Yeah. So what I would do when I was doing it at CQW is I would run down to that side door in Balmoral, let people in. They'd text me, I'd let them in, run back up.
Right.
So I was spending my whole time running up and down. So when I was thinking about it this July, I thought, you know what? I'm very close. Like we're just right around the corner here where we are from Old Market Square.
Yeah.
So it's very easy for the performers to get to. And I thought, I'm just going to do this here and I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to record it. And then I talked to Jared at UMFM and he said, sure, we'll find you some slots. We'll put it up.
Yeah.
So they just found various slots all over the schedule and they put it up. So it was,
that's a good audience for the top.
Yeah, but it's kind of interesting. Like I've noticed on UMFM that they, I feel like, and I don't know, I haven't compared the schedules side by side, but I feel like they probably at UMFM probably have less homegrown shows. I feel like they have a few. They have like there's podcasts that they are airing on the air. Right? Like they're created as podcasts and they're just sticking them on the air, which is, CKUW started doing during the pandemic too, when there was less programming. Yeah. Because CKUW used to be like almost all in-house shows.
Well, you can look, as I say, it's in Stylus, and the Uniter comes out every week. Almost always gives us a half page in there.
Yeah.
So at a glance, I recognize the shows, and they've been there a long time, etc. But I mean, we used to run Democracy Now, and the show after us called Green Planet Monitor or This Is Hell. Those are definitely from somewhere else. Well, John Prentice.
Yes.
Boy, talk about local and quality and the variety of things, and he had a voice and a style that invited you in. Yeah. He had something to share. I knew him back at VPW.
Wow.
Videon. We worked together there. And then being Winnipeg, I did a show called, I was going to say Books Are Us. No. No, something about books and more books.
More books.
Yeah. I did 2 different shows there. And that's how I got into radio. That and the University of Winnipeg when it was campus radio.
Yeah.
CJ something or other. Anyways.
Yeah.
I was driving cab 3 in the afternoon till 3 in the morning. And I'd always wanted to take the history of music at the university. And I thought, well, my schedule in September, I see where there'll be a history of music, first course. That usually means there'll be about 300 people.
Yeah.
So just walk in with everybody else and I'll sit in the class.
Yeah.
But I must have asked a couple of questions because when it was over, the professor said, "You aren't in my class, are you?" I said, "No, but I'm interested." So while I was there, I looked at the Manitoban and they had a camp radio station and they were looking for volunteers.
Yeah.
When you're young and you have a chutzpah that you don't have when you're older, because you know it's wrong.
Yeah.
We don't do that. So I went to the radio station, said, "I'd like to volunteer, but will you teach me the board?" He said, "Can you come tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.? I said, "Sure." Taught me the board. And then even when I was at Eaton's book department, I did a show out there every Thursday. Books in Review, I called it. Hey?
Yeah, that's good.
Thursdays when the new paperbacks came out.
Yeah.
I would grab 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I would eat my supper on the bus,
Yeah.
make a few notes about them,
Yeah.
pull together some music, etc.
Yeah.
And then we'd do the show. And Eaton's put up money to pay for advertising. That was my boss, Carl Buffy. I had lunch with him just a week ago. We still get together with my boss from Eaton's. That's before 1980.
Yeah.
There's so few people that you still remember and
Yeah.
and are compos mentis.
Yeah,
and,
right.
and willing and able.
And not just compost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Anyways, so.
yeah, no, that is interesting. And the books is interesting because, I got out of the bookstore business 14 years ago,
Right.
and it was already changing quite a bit, and it had already changed, over the 13 years that I did it, it had changed.
The internet certainly reached its tentacles out.
But the funny thing is, like, we thought that ebooks were killing physical books.
I thought that at first.
Yeah.
But I paid more attention. I would visit bookstores in other parts of the world, etc. And I came to realize people would have that love affair, but an affair is what it was.
Yeah.
Then they would go back to the book.
But also the thing is, like, it was just another way to read a book. So people were still reading books.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the real problem is that people don't, people consume information in different ways than they used to.
Smaller bites and attention span.
People don't read.
You can't put two things like that. You can't put two things in an email. Why? Because after the first one, and you have to email them back. Why didn't you answer something about the eye, the brain? I don't know.
And technology is interesting because you can hate it, you can fight it, but it's here, right? So you can also figure out how it works and how to use it and how you're gonna, how you're gonna do
Alexa, tell me a joke. Because Alexa.
What did people do before sandpaper was invented?
I don't know.
Just roughed it.
They just
roughed it. Okay, this is not scripted. Ron did not know that I had one of these in the room. He's been listening to us the whole time.
That's kind of scary.
Oh my God, that's almost as good as Gatemouth Brown burping.
Anyways, so we think, and of course there are always new people who come in September because it's the university.
Yeah.
You win a few in, and you always see on the schedule your show here. I am so thick. Took me a long time to think, oh, that must be the name of a show, and they're repeating it. Then you realize, you idiot.
Yeah.
Your show here means we still have room for a volunteer.
Yeah. That would be very meta if the show was called Your Show Here. It is funny because when I told Jared at UMFM that I wanted, that I was going to do this interview show and I was going to, video record it and put it on YouTube and I would like it to be on the radio too. And he said, great. He said, but we'll see if we can find you a slot. So they have to give the, like you say, September, they have to give the students an opportunity and whatever. And then he said, well, I've got you a slot. It's Saturday at 1 p.m., which was my slot for 10 years, which is really funny.
That's a good spot.
Honestly, I love, this is whatever this is, Thursday afternoon.
Yep.
We're sitting here doing this. Sometimes Saturday at 1 was a bit of a pain because I couldn't it was hard to sort of have a day.
Because your day split and responsibility to be there.
So it was hard for me. Like I couldn't work on Saturdays, and I move people. So Saturday is a very good day for moving people.
Yeah.
So usually I would not do anything, but sometimes, like if I figured something was gonna take X amount of time, I would do it first thing in the morning.
Yep.
And then sometimes the job would take too long, and I'd get a message from Nicole, whose show is at 11 to 1, and she'd be like, "Are you coming in?" And I'm like, still 20 minutes away. I'm like, put something on.
Well, there's still the odd occasion I try and be good. In other words, I finish 5 minutes early to get out, clean out, leave the board and everything else the way you found it.
Yeah.
It should be normal.
Yeah.
Whatever you were fiddling with, put it back. And so sometimes you come out and you're pleased with yourself, but the next show isn't there. So you run back in, you look at the log, but there's no indication. Everybody else is gone.
Yeah.
So then you go online and think, did you leave me a show to play? because please don't complain later
Yeah.
when I did the best I could with the time I had.
The weekend is funny because, U of W, like, you could be the only person in the building.
Yep.
Like you could come in and you're not only the only person in the station, you're having to get the key and turn the lights on. You are the only person in the building. Like it's very.
We got to know the cleaners.
Yeah.
And the same security guard, he now says hello.
Yeah.
And before, he looked unhappy.
Yeah.
I think I was waking him up because we're there for about 22, quarter to 6.
Yeah.
But he's more cheerful now. Plus, we take them a box of chocolates.
Oh, that's nice.
I sell books to different bookstores, etc. A couple of waitresses have been good to us for years now at Hildegard's. We're there twice a week. And Bison Books has been good to me. So
well, okay. I mean, there's almost nobody like Amy's buying books, but almost nobody. There's almost nobody left to buy books.
Well,
right?
Whatever Amy doesn't buy, we're talking Bison Books. Yeah. And I've become more and more selective. Don't kid yourself. You think, that's a great book, but if Amy has one copy of it, that's the end of that. Anyways, what she usually buys pays for everything I have in the carton. Yeah. Then I take it to Dennis.
Yes, at Red
River Books.
Yeah.
And he and his son shout at each other.
I know. And Dennis is completely deaf.
Yes.
And if you say, if the son's there and you talk to the son, he says, okay, I'll ask him. And then he just goes over and just yells at him, which seems like a thing that I could have done. But they're very weird. They should have their own show. But basically, there's only those two places left that buy anything.
For me, I used to sell a few things to Book Fair. That's gone after COVID. I think Bert and Lysecki.
I think, they're still there.
They're there. They seem to be open on Saturdays.
And I don't think I know they're not buying anything.
And they haven't been buying for a long time.
Because they have a lot of stuff there. And they're all like, they've been there so long. They're there because their property was expropriated to build Portage Place. The first time.
Right.
Now they're redoing it. I mean, that's how long they've outlasted Portage Place.
Yeah.
But they're quite old. They're spring chickens. They've been doing that forever.
And so it was his partner who's really, I forget her name now. Sorry. Anyways, who's really running the place now.
Well, it's a daughter. Like the mother Pauline. The daughter.
I'm talking about Bert and Lysecki books.
Oh, Bert and Lysecki.
Yeah.
So Bert and Lysecki sold it to his staff.
Yeah.
And they're open like 2 hours a week.
Saturday or something
to pick up your books or something. Yeah. No, it is. When I remember like when I was doing it, if you're counting all the new and used bookstores,
gone. Neighborhood bookstore and cafe.
But when I was doing this at one point, I mean, there were probably, if you're going to count all the Kohl's and all the everything. There was like, all the used bookstores and all the Kohl's and everything like that. There was like 45 bookstores or something. Like,
wow.
There was a lot. Yeah. There was like so many, and now there's like just a handful.
Yeah.
And even if you go into these places, like even the place that you started, McNally, Robinson.
Yep.
Half of it is baby clothes and stuff.
Not as bad as Indigo and the like.
Yeah.
And they're still determined. They really make an effort there with the classroom.
Yeah.
I do the mystery book club for McNally Robinson.
Yeah.
And so it's a great tie-in, and I hold it to 15. It's mostly seniors. Yeah. So there's enough different things happening there.
I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying it's the economics of it.
Yep.
I mean, you've got people in there. And you've got to find a way to suck some money out of them.
The restaurant helps bring them in as well. So does the classroom. The fact that it's a mall, so it's a destination for a variety of purposes. Yeah.
How long were you the Robinson and McNally Robinson?
Probably 2 years. It's all a haze.
Oh, so it's not very long at all.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I was at Eaton's as the buyer for the book department.
Yeah.
And 25 of us were marched upstairs all on the same day and told our services were no longer required.
Yeah.
And you could leave right away quick.
Yeah.
Well, I was about 30-something. I had no mortgage, no children, no wife. Yeah. But there were guys who were in their 50s and could see the rest of their time there to pay for their children's education and the mortgage.
Yeah.
So the first thing some of them did was shoot down the street to the bay or somewhere else to get in first.
Yeah.
And desperate, I'm sure. I went home for about 6 weeks and drank rum and coke and listened to Willie Nelson. And then the Free Press wanted to talk about Eaton's.
Yeah.
The rule was it was a private company and less than 50 people were let go at a time. So they didn't have to provide much more information than things are changing.
Right.
So the Free Press called me, and by then I'd been doing some freelancing.
Yeah.
And they said, we're looking for someone who'd talk about what happened. I said, I would be glad to.
Yeah.
So they invite me down to Portage Avenue and then the side street, probably Hargrave.
Yeah.
They keep turning me this way and that.
Carlton, you mean? Or
Well, no, it was on Hargrave and Donald, Eaton's.
Oh, sorry, Eaton. Sorry,
yeah,
that's showing the Free Press.
No,
sorry.
Eaton's.
Yeah.
And so they can get the metal plaque behind me.
Yeah.
Remember, big plaque? And I'm wearing my Korean parka from the Eaton's basement, lower store. We don't call it the basement. We call it the lower level store.
Yeah.
And the wind is blowing, and so you see the picture, and it looks like there's a tear in my eye.
Nice.
Poor bugger.
Yeah.
Yesterday he was on top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Today he sleeps under the Osborne Street Bridge. So Paul and Holly McNally saw the story in the Free Press, and they called me.
Yeah.
And they said, we think you're the kind of guy we'd like to open a bookstore with. And I said, I'd like to show Eaton's what a big mistake they made. And that's how McNally Robinson came to be.
Yeah.
When it was out at Grant Park in the little strip mall at Grant and Kenniston.
Yes. Yeah. I
Way back
remember.
when,
I
way back
remember that.
Yep.
And I think was Mary Scorer around then too?
Oh yeah, still.
And that was
And
John.
John Alexiak.
Yeah.
But then.
Who died a few years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the guy who ran Winnipeg Supply bought it, John Dewell.
Yeah.
And put up the money. So he wanted his son involved in it as well. I think he and John couldn't agree on an awful lot.
Yeah.
And then they moved twice that I remember. One was on Osborne, then to Graham.
Yeah.
There as well. I had someone approach me. He wanted to open a bookstore. I think he was a radiologist, and he had all this money.
When was this?
100 years ago.
Yeah.
And I said to him, well, what are you expecting in the way of a return on your investment? Because, you could put it in the bank and you might get more money as interest.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's, people do it because they love it.
You better.
And, when I did it, I was always busy. I was always trying to think of new things. I was always I was trying to make money as
We're talking Aqua?
Yeah.
I used to go for the restaurant too, which was good.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was later, we added that. But people would say dumb things like, have you read all the books in here? And there was
how many books are here?
Well, tens of thousands of books in there. And then also so aside from the kind of math problem there, I wasn't actually sitting around reading books because I had so many things to do because I was trying to keep the trains running.
Yep.
That being said, I mean, there are places like, none of those, I don't think any of the places exist anymore, but there were places like my first bookstore was 306 Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And I was right next to Highbrow Books.
Yes.
Leslie Mundweiler.
Yes. Chess master.
Yeah, who would be sitting there.
Complaining, grumbling.
Well, he'd be sitting there reading. He would actually be reading.
Wow.
He would actually be reading. He was sitting there reading. And around the corner was the bookcase, which was Bob Freyer.
Bob Freyer, the Sherlockian origami
guy,
yeah. The entire ceiling.
And he told Bob the funniest thing one time. I wasn't there, but I remember this Bob telling me the story because he said that Les said to him, I'm going to get a sign made. It's going to say, if you're looking for one book and it's a paperback, I don't have it. Which was so amazing and which was so Les because he was...
That was my experience with him. He was a little on the ferocious side.
He was such a snob and he was such a...
curmudgeon.
Yeah, and a curmudgeon, and he didn't, he wanted to sell crusty old books to crusty old professors. And
I have bought some of his books now from À la Page.
Yeah, so the sign is over there. His old books sign is over there on
Provencher.
On Provencher, and is that Did they just have like a little section of his stuff,
It
or like
was a
what?
fair amount of space devoted. That's been a year or two.
Yeah,
When I go out there for the Fringe or something, we'll drop in.
yeah.
But I have found some wonderful
But
things there. Yeah.
he's
So,
been dead for years.
yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Did they mark the books down?
They eventually did, because less view of
Everything
what
was all
yes,
$35 and up because he didn't want him to waste his
whereas
time.
Aqua, like $10 was about, and I've been there watching you at work, and someone will come in. This is my most treasured book. You know, my mother gave it to me. See, those are tear marks that she.
Yeah.
So, what do you give me for it? And you'd say $1. What? And they see the top of their head blow off. And I remember thinking, but most of the books here are $10. And you can't return them. What did you think?
Well, and the it was kind of like the Antiques and Funk, which is not around anymore, Maine and Bannatyne.
Right.
There, and after I did the bookstore, I worked there casual for a year, but I had the same philosophy as them. They were like, well, you know what? There's so much stuff. We need to keep it moving. So they had like, if this is something I know I can get a few more bucks for, great. But all the rest of this stuff, we got to keep it moving.
Yeah.
Because there is so much
Coming
stuff. And I mean,
available,
I always say that Winnipeg.
Well, I'm looking around the room here. I may say behind the camera.
Yeah. Well, we do an ongoing art and vintage sale here, and this is the stuff why I say Winnipeg is full of two things: old people and their junk. And I mean, yeah.
Only connect, as E.M. Forster said.
I mean, there's a lot of people in Winnipeg that have been in their houses for a long time.
Yep.
And I mean, I did estates, like I could have emptied out my bookstore and filled it up again in a week if I really worked at it. I could have done that because there were just so many books and so much stuff. And I one day, or at some point, I realized like, there are more books than people that are going to read them. I mean, there are, and because I would always feel bad about throwing books away, but I mean, there were things that like, the Children's Hospital didn't want them.
Yep.
Nobody.
Still true.
Yeah. Nobody wanted to buy them.
Reader's Digest condensed books. Use it for insulation.
Yeah. But not even that. I mean, the millionth old school copy of 39 Steps or whatever, like, there's just so much stuff. So I had to kind of console myself with the fact that I was doing the best job I could to get these back out into to circulation to people that actually wanted them and whatever, because there are.
Well, the little lending libraries help with that.
Yeah.
And so I am distributing stuff around there, and you'll see, as you just said, you'll see some of what you just mentioned that in the past might have been thrown out.
And I've been doing these ongoing sales every few weeks for the last year and a half. And one thing that I've noticed is people, people will bring their teenagers by, and we have lots of books here now. Again, not the books from the bookstore, but just more that have come in.
Yep.
And kids that have like. It's like music. Like there's a lot of kids who have only ever, the first song they heard was on an MP3. So to get a physical, even to get a physical CD, they're like, Or these kids that are just on their phones all the time and whatever, to get an actual physical book, it's kind of so the pendulum does swing back, and there's we're never gonna. Book sales are never going to be like this again, but it hits a floor, and then there's still.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, I mean, there's still
as we say, there's a customer for that book, but it could be anywhere in the world now. When I look at Abe Books, etc., and what Amy at Bison puts her stuff out.
The problem with that is when you couldn't buy anything anywhere, and then all of a sudden there was Abe Books. All the people that had been looking for all these books forever, they bought all the books. So the people that made their money, like a lot of money on Abe Books, like Bert and Lysecki, they did it in the first 5 or 10 years, and then it leveled off. Because, like I say, people that wanted the stuff that they couldn't get, they got it all, and then they were,
satisfied or ran out of money. Anyways,
we're speaking about being out of money. We're almost out of time.
Good Lord.
Yeah, who knew that we could be interesting for longer than 7 minutes? But I do want to ask you, you for some time were doing a Christmas thing every year. Do you still do that?
I do.
Yeah.
I do a reading of A Christmas Carol at Dalnavert Museum, 61 Carlton Street.
Yeah.
Richard Hurst, who used to do the reading, went to Vancouver.
Yeah.
I think he was taking care of his mom. Has come back.
Yeah.
So we're splitting. We're each doing 3 readings.
Okay.
Dickens' first reading was 3 hours.
Wow.
I like to say that in front of the audience, just to see the look on their faces, because I lock the door. And I do an hour and a half. I use the script that we used at CBC every year for Christmas Carol. It's boiled down to about an hour and a half with a break for an intermission, because the mind can only take in what the bum can endure. And so Dalnavert gets some of the money there.
Truer words were never spoken.
James Hickerson, he formerly of the Easy Teas, and now he's married to Donna Fletcher.
Okay.
Plays guitar to go with my performance of. So 18th and 19th of December, go to Dalnavert Calendar. We'd love to see you there.
Yeah.
I'm doing a reading for CTV on the 19th of, it was the night before Christmas for their TV. And I'll be helping, is a secret, helping Santa on CBC Radio on the 24th.
Okay.
The kids can call in.
Nice.
Talk to an icon.
Yeah.
Share their love and excitement and wish list.
Is icon you or Santa?
Santa is the icon. Santa is the icon. It's just you can't grasp him. You either feel it or you don't. Yeah.
And your radio show is on?
That's Saturday morning, 6 till 8. And I do a show called Pages, Radio for Readers, Thursdays. Today, being Thursday the 28th, 5 to 5:30.
Yeah.
Today, Terry Follis with his new novel, The Masquerade. Too late. If you're not catching this,
too late.
I'm sorry.
But now your stuff is on. Your stuff lives on the CKW
website, Listen Again, or YouTube Music.
Okay.
You can book us that way, apparently, too.
Okay.
I did for a while, and then I lost it, and being an incompetent, but my wife can still get it on her laptop.
Yeah.
So we're out there.
Well, better incompetent than incontinent.
That's very good. Let me write that down. All right.
Well, hey, listen. This has been a lot of fun. Will you come back sometime and do it again?
Always glad to.
Great. Thank you so much to Ron Robinson. Thank you so much to you for stopping by. Art will save us all. We'll talk to you again.